Kurt Russell is back as Santa in the Netflix original movie, The Christmas Chronicles Part Two. This time we also get Belsnickel. Impish or admirable? Well, it's like Santa, except dirty and worse. Wait, am I talking about Belsnickel or the movie? True believer Kate is now a cynical teenager, and she wants to get away from her family on their tropical holiday vacation. She is unexpectedly reunited with Santa when a stranger threatens to ruin Christmas forever. Make sure you watch to the end of the video if you care about Munchie reviews, because I do have one for you in this one. Now this movie picks up 2 years from where the last one left off. Darby Camp returns as Kate, the true believer of Christmas and Santa, except now she's more of a jaded teenager. Now I loved at the very end of the first movie how we got to see Goldie Hawn playing Mrs. Claus. And because her and Kurt Russell are real life together, I just thought it was very fitting, and it just warmed my heart to see them. She makes a bigger appearance in this film, and she's a lot of fun. One thing that I like is that they probably pull in a lot of their real life chemistry onto the screen, because she as Mrs. Claus, Kurt Russell as Santa Claus, they work really well together. They have a lot of charisma and a lot of chemistry, and they just bounce off each other in a very cute way. We have a couple of newcomers to this story. Jazeer Bruno plays Jack. He's very timid and sweet, but he will just melt your heart. He's very endearing, and he comes across on the screen just really well. We also get Julian Dennison, and he's basically a mix of Russell from Hunt for the Wilder People and Fire Fist from Deadpool 2. He's fun, but he didn't knock my socks off, because truly he was just taking those two characters and kind of melding them together. We get a ton more of Santa's elves in this, and there's still the CGI-looking gremlins before they get wet. And there's a point in the film where they become like an army of drunk 5-year-olds. I mean, it's entertaining at first, and then it gets a little tiresome. The movie's just under 2 hours, and you feel it. I think it's about 30 minutes too long. Maybe a little bit of that is because our story branches off into 2 storylines. Now, they're very easy to follow, but I think at points it makes it seem like the film doesn't totally know where it's trying to go. It wants to shift our focus or split our focus onto 2 different areas, and while sometimes that could be good, I think it weakens both of them in this instance. And that's because one of the storylines has a much larger focus. I mean, it's more of the central storyline to the film, and then you have like this side quest going on, which is still taking our attention. And that side quest is really only crucial to show a character's growth. And so I don't discount that. I mean, I enjoyed it, and I like the scenes that we get from that because of the character growth, and we get to just see this character in particular just do things that they don't normally do, and they step outside themselves. So it was fun that way, but it did feel a little distracting, and I think that's also what added to some of the time feeling. So this is cute. I mean, it's got endearing and touching moments that are going to tweak your heartstrings, but at times it feels a little lackluster. It feels like it has lost some of the magic that the first one contained. There's also some of it that just feels forced. I mean, stories like this should be effortless. I mean, it's a holiday movie, so we're typically more forgiving. I'm typically more forgiving if it's a little generic, if it's predictable, if it follows some, rote storyline, but I still want it to have some great emotion to it. Ideally, it will also have some freshness to it, but even on the bad stuff, I can kind of overlook that for the most part. And some of this did feel effortless. I mean, I enjoyed a lot of the movie. I could go along for the ride. I had fun. I chuckled some. There were even points where I laughed a little bit out loud. But there were a couple of other times where I found myself feeling a little bit bored just by what was going on or what wasn't going on. I'm willing to overlook a lot of the bad if the movie can make me feel good. Like, for example, there is some CGI in this that is just absolutely terrible. Not all of it is that way, and even the terrible CGI didn't break me out of the film. And even the story, while it was really predictable, it had great points, and I knew where it was trying to go, and I liked where it was trying to take me. The point of the film is inspiring and wonderful, and I really, really enjoy the theme of family and forgiveness. And even though I think that it took too long to get there, I don't think that point got lost. And so I really appreciate that they had that in there, that is the main focus of this story, because then, like I said, I'm willing to overlook a lot of the negative stuff and even being a little bit bored or feeling that it was a little too long because the payoff and the message was better. And when you have a story where its point is meaningful, it can turn something that's just kind of okay into something that's pretty good. Kurt Russell is a lot of fun in this. So is Goldie Hawn. And Darby Camp, she's great, especially at playing that early teenager who's a little bit cynical, who's a little bit jaded, who's got somewhat of an attitude, but that just means that there is the opportunity for growth and for heart change. And Jazir Bruno, I mean, I liked him. He's a newcomer. I don't know if I've ever seen him on screen before, but I had a lot of fun with him too. Julian Dennison, he's fine. He's not bad in this, and he's enjoyable when he's on screen. I just wish that there was a little bit more to his character, that he would have broken out or done something a little bit different than just kind of melding two of his previous characters from other films. So overall, this is a decent watch. Yes, it's a little too long, but the theme of family, the theme of forgiveness, that storyline is what makes it better. I'm not sure this is going to be an instant classic, but maybe it'll grow on me through more watches. There's no sex, nudity, or profanity, and just a little bit of mild violence. I give the Christmas Chronicles Part 2 3 out of 5 couches. So I'm not sure if you've actually been waiting all this time for this, but I've got a munchie for you. Now, this is not new by any means. These are marshmallow Santas. Now, if you know anything about the channel, I have a love-hate relationship with marshmallows, and it's mostly hate. But I'm also a conundrum because I like circus peanuts. I love those, and those are technically still marshmallows. But the big white marshmallows that you would put in a s'mores, those are disgusting. Just eat the candy bar and throw away the graham cracker, or put the graham cracker into some frosting. That's really actually the better way that you should do that. But if you are going to eat a marshmallow Santa, and these come out every year. I mean, around Christmas time, around the holidays, and sometimes they're snowmen, whatever. It doesn't really matter what they are. It's because it is a marshmallow thingy dipped in chocolate, wrapped in plastic, and then set into a pack. Now, here's the trick, though, that you have to do, because this is what makes them tolerable and makes them better, is that when you get a pack of these, you do not open them. Now, what I did is I wrote, I don't know if it'll focus on this or not, it says don't open until 2020. And I even put the date on here because sometimes we have multiples of these and you don't want to get them lost. Now, when you do these, you write out the date on there, something like that to help you remember. You throw them in the freezer 2 years. Okay, 1 year is okay. 2 years is perfect. 3 years, they start to get wonky and nasty and they're just not good. Anything longer than that and they're really just terrible. Now, at the 2 year mark, what is wonderful, and see I have one open here just as for ease, they become a little bit more like a Charleston chew. Now, you got to forgive, I mean, they're kind of the grayish brown, you know, I mean, whatever. I don't go for the looks. I don't care because I'm putting it in my mouth. But it's not as gooey as a normal chocolate-covered Santa would be. Now, had I let these go for another 6 months, the marshmallow would probably get even harder, but you run the risk of it going a little bit wonky with the taste. So 2 years is the sweet spot. I mean, these have been in my freezer since December 25th of 2018. Now, I know they were prepared before that, but who cares? I don't know when they were prepared. I don't check the expiration date really on them because my expiration date is 2 years from the date I get them and I put them in the freezer. So if you could only have one holiday movie that you watch year after year after year, what would that be? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this review, please give it a like. Also, don't forget to share and subscribe. I'm Chris. This is Movies and Munchies. Thanks for couching with me. Not too bad. Still tastes good too. And when you leave the plastic on there, it doesn't pick up all of the other smells from your freezer. There you go. Enjoy.